Alrighty guys, and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at this week's shrine. Now this week's shrine is actually quite good and I can't wait to walk you guys through it. We're going to be looking at Balanced Landing, we're going to be looking at Corrupt Intervention, Enduring, and Red Herring. Red Herring isn't great, but we'll get to that later on. Balanced Landing. Balanced Landing is a teachable unlocked by Nia. She's a non-DLC character in the game and it's a teachable unlocked at level 30. It's actually quite strong. When you fall from a height in the game, you no longer make a scream, providing this perk is not on cooldown. When you land, you recover 75% quicker and you'll be able to run at 150% movement speed for 3 seconds with a 60, 50, and 40 second cooldown based on tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. It's actually quite a beneficial perk to getting away from the killer and being able to activate really strong jungle gyms to block the killer's line of sight, like maps on Hattonfield, for example. However, not every map has great beneficial drop downs, such as Sheltered Woods, where you have only the basement and the tree in the center of the board. Therefore, bit of a gamble perk, but can pay off depending if you're lucky with the map or you bring an offering for what map you want to play on. Moving on to the next perk, Corrupt Intervention. Corrupt Intervention is probably one of the best perks in Dead by Daylight for killers. It gives you up to 120 seconds, I believe it is 80, 100, and 120 seconds, where 3 generators, the furthest away from you that spawned, while your killer will instantly be locked. These generators will be unable to be worked on by survivors and will be glowing white for the duration of the perk. Therefore, you know which generators you do not have to go and check on. Survivors can still spawn near the generator and walk over to the generator, but it's really good at funneling survivors together if you're going to run another perk such as Discordance. I personally like Corrupt Intervention on a lot of my strong killers, such as the Nurse, such as Freddy Krueger, rather than running things like Hex Undying Ruin, because Corrupt Intervention is what I can do in 120 seconds. That being said, I highly recommend the perk. It's a teachable unlock by the Plague, who is a non-paid DLC as well. You can unlock with Iridescent Shards. That being said, she also comes with Infectious Fright, which is another phenomenal perk. Would recommend it, level 30 teachable from the Plague. The next perk we're looking at is Enduring. Yet again, a non-DLC teachable perk that you guys can get. It's a pretty good perk, Enduring. It allows you to recover from pallet stuns 40, 45, and 50% quicker. Used to go really well hand-in-hand with Spirit's Fury, which is a Spirit teachable. It still kind of does, but it takes up a lot of slots to be able to run that. And if you are running that kind of combo, survivors might drop the pallets against you early and apply Spirit Pressure where you're in a little bit of a sticky situation. So based on this alone, if you M1 a survivor and they pallet stun you at the same time, you're technically going to recover quicker because you're recovering from a stun rather than recovering from the M1, unless you obviously had stacks to save the best for last. Even if you did have stacks to save the best for last, whether you M1 or get pallet stun, you will always recover from the pallet stun as well. It does also stack with, I believe, Fired Up. That being said, that is Enduring. Would I recommend this perk? It's good for a new killer that doesn't know when to respect certain pallets and go through them. It can also be very beneficial depending on the map that you're playing on. I wouldn't recommend it on certain killers like Leatherface that have chainsaw downs or Demogorgons that have shreds. However, on somebody like a Doctor, if you're not really good with your shock, you can use it. If you're good with your shock or you're bad with your shock, you can also use Brutal Strength or just not use either in shock and then get the M1 through the pallet. Now the next perk and the final perk we're going to be looking at is called Red Herring. Red Herring is a very odd teachable. It's unlocked by Zarina. Zarina is a non-DLC, well, she is a DLC character, but you can unlock her through Iridescent Shards. Now this being said, what does Red Herring do? When you've been working on a generator for at least 3 seconds, when you get inside a locker, whether that be a slow walk-in or a quick and quiet fast vault-in, when you're inside a locker, the generator you worked on will make a sound explosion for the killer to know that somebody missed a skill check on that generator. It'll not regress the generator at all, but the killer will get the notification. As you guys can see, it can only be triggered once every 60, 50, and 40 seconds. Not a very good perk. You'll leave no scratch marks over there as well, and based on this alone, the killer can generally mind game and know where you are. People that run Red Herring generally run head-on with it and quick and quiet for the locker plays as well. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all for this week's shrine. If I had Iridescent Shards and I didn't have all these perks, I would be looking at unlocking Corrupt Intervention, even if I wasn't playing killer at the time. I think Corrupt Intervention is the best perk on this web. Alternatively, you could look at running Balanced Landing if you didn't want to level Nia. You know my recommendations for a new survivor. I recommend leveling Megan, Nia, or Feng Min if you're willing to purchase the DLC. Megan to learn to run from the killer, Nia to learn how to hide from the killer, Feng Min if you want to be able to do a bit of both worlds and are willing to purchase the Shock of Madness DLC. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all for this week's Shrine video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I do educational, informative DVD killer and survivor content 5 days a week over at Twitch if you guys want to tune into the live stream. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the fog in the next video. Have a good one.